It's day 7 of designing an Animal Crossing island using only DIYs. In the last episode, we got our very first piece of clothing. We found 2 incredibly rare islands, and we met our final villager, at least for now.
It's the 30-day DIY island.
I'm excited today for a few reasons. Reason number 1, it is raining. And this is great, because I cannot stand watering flowers. Reason number 2, Harry is here. Now, I'm not explicitly excited about Harry himself. I'm just excited that our final villager has moved into town. Apparently, he brings with him a bathroom. Hopefully, this is one everyone can use. There's not a lot of bathrooms when it comes to villagers and their homes, and this definitely looks like a bathroom. So, yeah, I'll be making some stops here. No, I'm dead serious. I don't think I can craft a toilet, so I might actually need to use this house if it is indeed a bathroom. Reason number 3 is that we have a new campsite villager staying on the island. As you know, I'm trying to get Poppy to move to this island. Poppy is ranked number 26 on Animal Crossing Portal, so very comfortably in the middle of the top 50, and just overall an incredible villager.
Poppy!
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Poppy.
Oh, I love Poppy.
Oh,
Poppy's the best.
I can't wait to meet her.
So cool. I say we start this day off right, and we check it out. Let's see. Okay, it's not Poppy. It's Stu. Stu is ranked 265 on Animal Crossing Portal. And honestly, that ranking is not helpful to anybody. Anyway, I want to talk about the goal for today, but Angus is crafting a raccoon figurine, so I thought I would drop in and grab that first. And I also found a rose bed on the beach, which I'm not sure I'll ever get to craft because I'll need to find roses somewhere else. I can't just buy roses. Anyway, now our goal for today is pretty straightforward. Now that everyone lives on the island, it's time to work our way towards 3 stars, and honestly, I think we can do it today. As a lot of you may know, 3 stars in Animal Crossing unlocks a lot of things. It kind of completes the early game story. You get your KK concert. Oh, CJ's here. Maybe we can make some money too. You get your KK concert. You unlock terraforming and waterscaping and pathing, and those really are the reasons I want to obtain 3 stars. KK Slider is cool and all, but I've been able to just kind of buy his songs through the catalog, so a little underwhelming of a reward, you know, for beating the story. Let me know if you feel the same way. I've always thought the KK concert was neat, but they make such a big deal about it. This is, of course, again, a very ambitious goal, because look what it takes to get 3 stars. Everything you do is worth a certain amount of points, and that means you don't have to do everything by the book. You can kind of go your own way in terms of how you want to accumulate points. The thing is, my island is pretty empty right now, and to get 3 stars, if I'm reading this chart correctly, we need 160 to 399 development points, and we need 270 to 349 scenery points. Basically, what I'm planning on doing to achieve this is, well, for one, picking up some weeds, because I've just kind of let these get out of control, and 2, just placing down items, and as many as I possibly can. We've been trying to do our best to gather supplies during the various villager hunts we've done and things like that. Those supplies can now be put towards maybe making our first build that might actually stay on the island. You know that I built the big flower area with the brick fence around it. That's probably not a permanent fixture of the island, but you know, we could start to think about areas that would have more permanent builds on them. The thing is, I am a terraformer. I really like taking an island and shaping it my own way. That's why I didn't make no terraforming part of the rules. I want to do that part. But, you know, I don't want to start placing stuff down and saying, okay, build complete, only to realize that, oh, wait, I actually don't want the river here, and then I have to move everything. So instead of making things look nice, I can very well see myself just kind of randomly scattering items everywhere, but honestly, it depends on what Isabel has to say. So I'm going to pick up some weeds, and then we're going to head over to Resident Services, and I'm going to see where we're currently at. I'm predicting now that everyone's moved in, we're at least at 2 stars, but I honestly don't know. Just a quick reminder to hit your rocks every day. 1 gold nugget and the rest iron nuggets is great for one of these rocks. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see where we landed on island evals. I was right, we are at 2 stars, so let's see what it's going to take to get that next one. I keep hearing all things should be in moderation, but an island's image is worth working hard for, ain't it? Compared with the last report, more folks responded positively to our island's scenery. Keep contributing however you can, and soon this island will be decorated to perfection. If you use the resources found on the island and decorated with items you've created, I bet you can improve the island's scenery and folks' thoughts on our natural landscape at the same time. So Isabel is basically telling me to get on with the challenge and start actually decorating with DIY items, which is cool. We're on the same page. This is going to cost me, but since we are starting to do some decorating projects now, I am going to buy the last inventory upgrade for 8,000 miles. And since we are starting to talk about decorating the island, I think it's also time to move some houses. These houses had to be placed on the grass because they needed a lot of room around them, but now that everyone's settled in, we can start moving them to the beaches. It costs 10,000 bells to move each house, and Tom Nook's going to give us the plot after we get Bertha's permission, and we'll get that going. By the way, this whole exchange is really troubling. Bertha may seem like she's saying, oh yeah, moving sounds great, but they never ever say no. What does Tom Nook have on these villagers? Why do they never say no? Oh well, not my problem. Okay, we have to place items, so what's the plan? Well, I think I'm going to focus my decorating efforts around resident services. For one, the resident services building never moves. So if there's any chance of what I build to actually stay put, it would have to be built around resident services, I think. The other reason for building here? Well, the gatekeepers who work right inside this building have windows facing out to the front, which means if we put everything right around here, they will see that the town is coming together and give us our 3 stars. For this project, we're going to need a number of things. I'm going to bring some food with me so I can move some trees around, and I'm going to bring a whole lot of crafting materials. About like this. I also grabbed some customization kits as well. Now, this is the first time I've actually taken stock in all the different crafting recipes I've unlocked thus far, and there's not a lot here, it seems, but I mean, there is a good bit. I think we can do some fun stuff despite not having so many options. I think what I would like to do is keep it a bit rustic. So I'm going to start with a bonfire as kind of the centerpiece, and I'm going to craft a bunch of items that would make it feel like a rustic but cool community kind of hangout spot. I think what we'll do is start to place down some items and remove some trees. And I say that because I have filled my pockets full of stuff, so I have to kind of balance things now. But I am glad I bought that inventory upgrade. So I'm going to place down the bonfire after removing that tree. I do want it centered with resident services, but I also want it kind of far enough away because I want to put some stuff around it too. This is going to be like just the focal point of this community hangout spot. Around the bonfire, I'm just going to be placing 2 log benches. And at this point, I think I've cleared enough trees to kind of see my plan through. So I didn't have a ton of items here, but that kind of made the pressure all the more palpable. I mean, we're 7 days into this challenge. I've only collected a small handful of DIYs, and now I'm trying to pull off this big, glorious build in front of resident services. Despite my complete lack of items, though, I actually started to really like this build. It started to come together given how simple it was. I actually really enjoy using random items like hay bales and pots and just kind of scattering them about. It made the area feel like it was, you know, kind of full of life. Like stuff happens here. People make things and then they just kind of leave them and go home. So far, I would recommend building like this. Go in without a plan, but just a handful of items and see how it goes. I think this little area is coming together. What it really needs, though, I think, are some fences. And I don't want to fence the entire thing in, but just to kind of separate this area from everything else around it, I think it could use those barriers. So far, though, I've only unlocked these 4 types of fences, and I think corral is probably the most inoffensive fence. Sorry, that was a really unintentional pun. I apologize. In any case, I do think they complete the look of this area in a nice, fun way. I think the last step before we go check evaluations again will be to put some trees around this place. When decorating around the resident services building, one of the things I really like doing are taking the natural fruit that spawns on the island and using those trees in particular around the builds. It just kind of reminds me that my original fruit was that fruit. Because I visit a lot of islands, I have a lot of islands now, and it's pretty easy to get confused. So I think I'm going to put the first 2 cherry trees right up against these fences here. And I'm going to try the next 2 right next to the log stakes on either side. If you couldn't tell, I am going for a little bit of symmetry with this build, as I like to do. I really enjoy a little bit of symmetry in Animal Crossing. And overall, yeah, I think this kind of fills out the space in a pretty nice way. I like this. Let's see what a couple more trees would look like. This time we'll use hardwood trees. We'll put one here, and then we'll put one right across from it. And just that one addition kind of makes the spot feel even more cozy, which I like a lot. Well, let's go ahead and turn on the bonfire and see if this is enough to get us to 3 stars. Unfortunately, we are still at 2 stars. The island still lacks appealing scenery, which I find very offensive. And Isabel wants me to decorate literally the entire island, which is, in my defense, what I'm trying to do. My lack of supplies and unique DIY recipes is putting me in quite the state of despair. But we will carry on. And once we do, that video will be right here. and you can click on it. Until then, I guess I'll just go find some more DIYs or something.